This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your hosts, Rich Post, John Bonas, Mike Mallet, and Chris Marquardt.
Good evening and welcome. Ooh, boy, that's bad. Ooh, man, that's bad.
Yeah, that was, I'm crackling here.
Yeah, me too.
You're crackling too? We're kicking it. Whoa, there we go. No crackling there.
That's a little better. Holy
That's better.
cow.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Talk about.
Hello? Is that better?
That's better, yeah.
I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know why I bother trying to set the pre-show levels. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was,
That was an adventure.
ugly.
I think we've been sabotaged. I'm looking at the board. Stuff's plugged in different spots. I wasn't really paying attention to it when I was setting the stuff.
That's always
ahead
good.
of time.
That's always
Nice
good.
going.
Yep, rookie
It's,
mistake. Amateurs.
I
Amateur
know,
hour here tonight.
amateur.
Amateur hour tonight.
Wow.
Well, it is episode 57. We're know the sauce.
Yep. How many episodes they have? Hold on,
I
I
don't know.
got
They're
this
over.
sheet here.
I think they're over 100.
Hold on, I'll look.
While Mike looks that up, this is the 31st lap. I'm Chris Marquardt. Joining me in the
82,
studio.
by the way.
82?
Yeah, we're catching them.
Yeah, we're running them down one live show at a time.
Yep.
John Bomas, Mike Mallet joining us
Yo.
in studio tonight. There's Mike. There's John.
Hold on.
Rich. Oh, yeah. Yeah, go. Do it.
Yeah, I got to put those on.
Do the Carl Edwards thing.
What
Yeah,
do you got?
There we go.
What are you sporting there, fella?
I got some Fatheads Eyewear, and thanks to my good friend Anthony from Fatheads Eyewear. We'll be having a little contest here after our Daryn Pittman interview, but before we chat with Brady Bacon, since, well, we all know why. So, well, if you don't, you'll know why. So that's the deal, and I got to thank my buddy Anthony. We got him on a phone last week and asked if he'd be willing to give away a pair of sunglasses, and actually the pair you'll be getting is very similar to the ones that I have right here.
And I'll take the credit for you calling.
Yes,
'cause I'm the one
you
that bugged
annoyed
you
the hell out of me and
bugged
made
him.
me call him.
Yes, and I bugged him all the weekend in Baltimore about stuff. Too,
Yeah,
so.
So you did good.
I'll take the blame.
You got it. But we got a T-shirt and a pair of sunglasses out of it, and
That's cool.
It's a good deal, and it's nice to have. It's funny how the racing world works. I think I told John this story. I don't know if I told this story last week or not, but I'm working the show for Lenny Salmon's Productions Baltimore show, and I talked to Tim Hogue, who oversees the announcers. He's like, hey, you got to talk to the guy from Fatheads, Eyewear, and see what they want to do, and yada yada yada. And I turn around, and it's my buddy Anthony, who I haven't seen in probably 5 years or 4 years since the Knoxville Nationals, when I sponsored him when he was working for Darren Clayton. And I knew him way back in the day when he was working for Wade Hendrickson at Williams Grove, and actually met him through a college girlfriend. So it was pretty awesome. And now we got hooked up again here with the Fatheads deal. So
yeah,
pretty neat stuff. So look forward to that here later on in the show. And good stuff tonight. It's the Oklahoma edition.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this
Sooner edition.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Sooners edition. As we've got Daryn Pittman here coming up momentarily. Kasey Kahne's new hot shoe.
If I'm not mistaken, Mike, Sooner colors are maroon and white, aren't they?
Yes, why?
So is Fort Plain.
Only he would put those two together. Fort Plain.
Hilltoppers, man.
Oh yeah,
Maroon and
rocking
white.
out. Yeah, and again Brady Bacon. So we have Daryn Pittman from Owasso, Oklahoma, which is one of my favorite hometowns to say when I'm announcing. I got to tell you,
Which, for those who don't know, Owasso is another suburb
of
area
Tulsa, right?
Of Tulsa, as well as Broken Arrow. They're all like
Right,
suburbs.
and
of
then
Tulsa.
Broken Arrow is where Brady Bacon is from. So that's a good deal. Can't wait to get these guys on and get a chance to chat with them. While we get into it here, I'll start with the big news of the week, I guess, for me, as a sprint car fan, is the press release was sent and has been announced. 7 Gs to win at Utica Rome on September the 7th for 360 sprint cars. How about them apples?
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
That's
going to be cool.
sweet.
That,
Cool
that show's
deal.
going to draw well.
I think so, and because the other clubs are working with us, they're putting it on their schedules, I believe. I know right now, in theory, ESS, Patriots, and the URC have talked about putting on their schedule. Scone, possibly. So you're going to get the best of the best from all over the Northeast, which I think is pretty neat. There's been inquiries from Pennsylvania already. I know Pat Cannon's car owner, Highlands, has already emailed for information and things like that, wanting to know. So that's top notch.
What did you say the date was?
September 7th. It's traditionally the what is it? No, it was the New Yorker. Okay, the New Yorker weekend that we used to have at the end of the year, that Friday, Saturday. Well, now the New Yorker got moved back a week, and it's going to be run the Monday of Labor Day. So there goes my Labor Day party. But hey, 2-day show with sail panels and sprint cars, I'll take it. And then sprint cars back that next weekend again. So 7 G's to win, $500 to start. Again, it's an open competition. It's not an ESS show. ESS obviously will be there, but it's open to all the sanctionings and everything else. So it should be good.
Well, we're gonna have a winged 360 sprint car driver on the show in a little while. Maybe you should mention that to him.
Hey, did you want to fly to New York, drive a car, and race for $7,000 to win here in Central New York? That'd be cool. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Shane Stewart has gone to some places. I mean, he always goes to the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, and that pays.
Wayne Johnson usually is out
that
there.
pays $12,000 to win. I mean, this isn't bad for 360, $7,000. That's up there in the payday for 360. I mean, they normally race for $2,000 to win, $1,500 to $2,000.
Right.
Sonny wants to know if she can sit in the booth with you.
Sit in the booth. There will not be room in the booth for anybody. I think it's going to be packed with all the officials and everybody else that are going to be there.
That's the same thing that Dino said.
Yeah, it is going to be so full, and that tower is not big.
That room that he sits in, when there's 3 people in there, you can't move.
Oh, where's that? At Utica?
Utica,
it's tiny up there. It is tiny up there.
So then you go in there and there's like 6 people. It's like, wow, you can't even get in the door.
No. I mean, come on. I already got to deal with Zoopy all night. All right. I mean, be nice to me.
Not on here so far.
No Zoopy. No Zoopy. Well, I'm sure he'll be along, but yeah. So that's my that was my tidbit this week. I knew we've been talking about it for a while. Obviously, and now it's official because the press release was sent out, so we can talk about it. And
is it on Facebook yet?
It is Facebook official.
There you go.
It is. It is on the Utica Rome fan page on Facebook. It's been shared, been linked, and so on and so forth. So more details to come about the qualifying procedures and all that as we get closer to it, and hopefully we'll have a cool name for it and everything else. Right now it's just a 360 Sprint Car Spectacular, but hey, you never know what'll pop up here. We got some time. It's one of those things where you announce something and then you kind of keep building off that first announcement and go on and on and on.
Changes and tweaks here and there. More announcements come out regarding certain things. And
I know the undercard to the event will be a $1,000 to win 602 Sportsman race. So that's the undercard that day. So you'll have 602 Sportsmen.
A lot of sportsmen.
Yeah, we had 38 last year for $500 to win, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So
hopefully, good field of cars in both. I'm expecting a great turnout of 360 sprint cars. I mean, I'm hoping for like 50 cars. That's my hope. And again, we got cars in theory. If you get guys from Ashrican, you got Scone, which is in New England, the Patriots, ESS, URC. Then you've got your guys that run. Down in Central Pennsylvania,
right.
There's some big name guys down there. TJ Stutz, Pat Cannon, those guys. You can get a few goes out. Maybe Mark Smith. You get those guys to come up. I mean, there's that's some money. That's some money. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Dirt Car made an announcement today. They released the rolling wheel schedule.
Yep, that's big news. That's big news for you.
Saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow. That remains to be seen.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it was big news for you.
That's a little early yet for that.
Yeah, okay. All right. But, same as always, right? Except for a big block race in June, I think. Was
it looked pretty much the status quo from this year to next, with the exception, I had mentioned the first race to you I saw on the schedule was June, I believe it's June 5th, a Wednesday or something.
Okay.
And it's a big block, I think it was a Super Dirt Series race, I believe.
You think?
It's a big block race, I know that.
Come on, Mr. Big
laps.
Block. You're supposed to be in on this.
And then they got their July 3rd race there.
Right. ESS is back.
ESS,
we're back on the schedule.
The Labor Day weekend race for modifieds.
On Saturday. Or Sunday, right? Sunday of Labor Day, yeah. And then, of course, World of Outlaws are there twice.
Yeah, World of Outlaws sprints.
World of Outlaw late models.
May and during Super Dirt Week, and then late models during Super Dirt Week.
It's good. It's good.
So it was pretty much like it was this year.
Right.
Maybe with the exception of that first race.
Nice. It's good news coming out of Central New York. That's always a positive.
Yep.
I do like the time of the year when, like this time of the year and right after Christmas, all the schedules start coming out. So then you can start building your 2013 itinerary of places that I need to go. Like I think the All-Star schedule's on. I want to look and see. I'm hoping Speed Week is the same week it was last year, so we can make an Ohio trek again. That was a great time.
I tell you where I am going next year. Come hell or high water, at least once, I will.
Eldora for the truck race.
Be going to Kutztown.
Kutztown? Yeah, we were talking about Kutztown a little bit ago.
August, you should make a plan. I think it's August 17th.
Why?
Well, that's the Fair Derby.
Oh, at Kutztown?
Yeah, let's go.
Do they race during the fair?
Let's go to that.
They
well,
don't, right?
they do. I think they do during the week, but not on Saturday.
No, they race on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights are regular night.
I'll be sure to mark that down on my calendar.
The Derby?
Soon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. John and his derbies. He loves derbies.
No, he doesn't.
Who
are you fooling?
I like them if I can sit in the stands and watch them. I don't like to be
3 inches from the track
3
with
inches
a
from the
camcorder.
Separated between me and the cars is a little camera.
Yeah, I like it.
On a tripod.
I like it.
It's the only way to do it.
Nah.
Go big or go home.
We already got 18 dates booked for next year.
Derbies?
Yeah.
Nice. Not
18
too shabby.
dates.
Yep. I think we're going to be in Massachusetts 3 times, Virginia twice.
Is there that many cars left to destroy?
Oh, there's always stuff to destroy.
I'm sure there
there's
is.
nothing too nice to destroy.
Do they do 4-cylinder like plastic car?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah, those
basically modern day stuff now because that's what you're getting into, right? Like old
yeah.
neons and stuff. Is that where you're
yeah,
at now?
Yeah, those. I mean, those.
You know,
do, those
silver
do great.
2005 Cavaliers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Those things will flatten. Those will flatten right out in the back.
Yeah, my poor car.
I thought I was following you.
You got a thing for silver, don't you?
Yeah, I know. My house is silver. My 2 cars are silver.
How
My
about
hair's
for
silver. My hair's silver too. It's just not there.
How about maroon and white? How do you feel about maroon
Maroon and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like that too. We like that too.
Sooners and Hilltoppers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, man,
Well, this
you know,
is the 31st lap. We're coming to you live from
There it is.
FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls. Thanks for joining us. We're a little bit delayed on that part of it. It only took 10 minutes to
yeah,
let
I
everybody know where we
didn't
are.
remember if we did it or not.
No,
and
we
then-
didn't.
No, yeah, that's all right. It happens. It
Glad
happens.
everybody's joining us. We're streaming live, FingerLakes1.com. Follow the links to see it as it happens. As we've already alluded to, got a big show. Wingless star Brady Bacon's going to be on the show, and Mike's winged car counterpunch is going to be Daryn Pittman. He'll be on the show in probably about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, we're getting close. I mean, we're cutting it down here.
This has been a great couple weeks for you.
Yeah, I like it. You know, obviously it's nice because it's wintertime and you can kind of track these guys down. Now, some of them go race in New Zealand and so on and so forth, so you can't get them. I mean, they're not going to answer their cell phone in New Zealand because I'm pretty sure that's got some hefty roaming charges.
for a number they don't recognize.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, this is good. You know, we had Hodnett last week and everybody mocked me, you know, and I'm still taking a mocking even to this day.
Well, that's not fair. I mean,
It's
come
all
on.
right. I don't mind it. Hey, everybody has favorite drivers, and that's mine. So
Trust me, I would be just as
on you.
Wow.
Had to go 3rd grade on you there for a second. Sorry.
Good grief.
I would be just as excited as if Randy Schwarzkopf was on the show.
Who?
Right.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Well, that's when I said Greg Hodnett. Chris was like, who?
Is he Russian?
No, at least I knew who he was.
Is he,
Give me a little credit.
I know.
Is he Russian?
No, he's from Indiana.
India.
Indiana.
Russian.
Oh,
to me.
Indiana.
Yeah.
What's he do? Derby? Is he like the man
Are
of
you
the
gonna-
Derby?
Well, yeah, I mean, do you really want to pursue this?
I
towards
just
the
want to
kind
know
of-
who he
Yes,
is. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Is
he-
a simple question.
Yeah, I know you are, but he won't.
Fill in the audience because now you got them all wondering who the hell it is.
No, I don't
too.
think they
Sounds
are.
Russian
No,
to me.
I don't think they. I don't think they did.
I don't think they
He
care.
won Metal Mayhem twice.
And that's like the biggest Derby in the
Yeah,
world.
That's Daytona Derby. It's 10,000 to win.
Whoa.
Where's that at the Speedrome?
No, it's in Pecatinia.
Isn't the
Where?
World Championship Derby thing? It's Indianapolis Speedrome.
No.
How the hell do you even know that?
Because it's been on Lucas Oil on the Edge on Speed.
Oh, okay.
I've seen
Yeah.
it.
One of those Lucas Oil Power Hour
I've
or
seen it.
whatever.
They have a huge demolition derby at the Speedrome every year. It's like
Oh, we got
it's
some
like the
people
biggest one in
asking-
the country.
We got some people asking about. It's not now though.
The contest?
They got. No. Well,
Okay,
they're
good.
asking about Dick Dragon Motorsports and when they're getting their prize money.
That's a good question. No, I'm kidding.
Let him talk to the owner, and he'll get back to you.
I'm trying to get all the prizes situated and everything straightened out. And of course, my between work, somebody emailed me the other day, asked me when I was going to get everything updated. Work is almost done. I'd had this seasonal job working nights, and I get like 1 or 2 nights off a week. So I've been very busy
Sleeping?
sleeping and working pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty
every
much
day.
all I do
Yeah.
now. That will be done. Usually we end up right after Christmas. I'll be done. So within the next couple weeks, I will get everything straightened out, get everything updated. I still got to contact a bunch of people who donated prizes that I don't have yet, and inform them who the people were that won them, and get everything straightened out. So hopefully within the next couple weeks, I can get everything settled. Because then I got to get to work on stuff for next year.
2013.
Yeah, I know, because it's like right around the corner already.
Hey, I got a question for you. You know, we got somebody listening here.
So
that was with us in Baltimore.
First, I want to apologize for taking so long.
Way to
but
go.
This whole work thing is just I got
Throwing
no
him
ti-
off.
I got
I actually got to go to work
I
then.
know. Well, all summer long I got all the free time in the world to work on it, and now I'm just swamped and I got no time to do anything.
All right. So somebody that's listening and that was with us in Baltimore wants to know how your butt's feeling.
Right now,
After
it's okay.
did we tell that story last week? He totally
Yeah.
right down the stairs,
I took a
right down the stairs.
Big time shitter, man. Fell right on my head.
He was, and he wasn't drinking. I can vouch for that.
I did not have a drop.
He
at that
stepped
point.
and he went. Boom.
The Baltimore stands at the end of their steps. They were painted yellow. So obviously, it's for visibility, so you can see them. But
you saw it.
The yellow paint was very slippery, and I caught it with my heel about the fourth step from the bottom, and I slid all the way down on my.
He had a yellow streak
ass.
on his.
Or her.
back. So hey, you want to
killed my back and my rear end, and
you want to get our buddy on the phone here? 7:30.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on.
We're so couth about how we do things here. Hey,
Yeah.
call him. Let's go. Get our guest on the line, so we can get her done. Who's gonna hold the phone for this? You gonna do it, Chris?
I can. I'm
Okay.
not doing anything else. Why not?
All right. Well, you're running a chat room in it. How's that going?
Nobody's really talking.
No.
No, we've only got like 6 viewers.
That's it.
It just jumped to 24. Now
Sweet.
It's down to 3.
Okay,
Now
so it's legit then.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's honest. It works well.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, it happens. It happens.
I'd take those numbers to the bank.
Yeah. We have 652 people listening right now.
Yep. Oh, it just went down to 10.
Yep. Yep. Oh man, it's hard to believe that it is almost Christmas. Where did this whole year go? It's gone. I mean,
it
crap.
was a busy summer between everything that we
Yeah.
were doing with everything we were doing with the live shows. You guys did a ton of racing. We were traveling all over the. My car's got 47,000 miles on it now. I got
47,000. I got 278,000.
It's a year old.
That's what mine had on it after a year. I put 50 on it the first year I had it.
I know, it's crazy.
Loving it. The life of a race chaser.
People are complaining in the
Chat room.
in the chat room that they miss Rich.
Why? We're
I
not
don't
good
know.
enough for you?
Apparently.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, by the way, we want to say thanks for listening to what could very possibly be the last 31st lap ever since the world's ending
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow.
Shut up. World's going to end. Garbage. Yeah. Yep. So there we go. We got it. Good job, Bombus. Way to be a good fill-in for Rich. Doing a heck of a job.
I could never fill that in.
No, you can never. Well, joining us here on the line now, here on the 31st lap, is Kasey Kahne's newest driver, former driver of the Michael Hefner Motorsports number 27, Daryn Pittman. Daryn, thanks for taking the time to come on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on, for sure.
Well, Daryn, first off, the big news was at the end of the 2012 season that you're taking over, the reins for Kasey Kahne. How excited are you about that opportunity to get back out on the road?
Oh, I'm, obviously couldn't be any happier with the opportunity that, obviously lies in front. But I'm just really excited to get back out on the road and racing with the Outlaws, which is obviously, what I'd done for so long and what we had become accustomed to. We'd done it for so long that definitely it was just a goal of mine to really get back out there and then just to get the opportunity to do it with Kasey and the whole KKR team and just the team that they've got behind them has just made it even that much better. So really looking forward to it and ready to get started next year for sure.
How much did you enjoy your time in Pennsylvania? I know you did a lot of traveling. You were the 2012 East Region champion with the All-Stars. You got around. You got a win down in Georgia, had some wins in PA. How much did you enjoy being here for the last couple seasons?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the best part about it was that I was able to race so much. There's no doubt in my mind that I think I'm a better race car driver now going back out on the Outlaw Tour than I was when I left. I think I've learned a lot of things and matured in certain areas. And Pennsylvania, no matter what, no matter how successful you're going to be on the Outlaw deal, Pennsylvania is an area that is tough and really can hurt or help any Outlaw drivers season when they come back there and race. So it's definitely a place that's good to get laps and experience running, and I enjoyed it. The racing was good. We got to do a lot of racing, and definitely more than the Outlaws had the last couple of years. I don't think there's any doubt that over the last 2, maybe even last 3 years, that I raced more wing sprint car races probably than anybody in the country. So that's a tribute to having a Pennsylvania owner and allowing us to travel and being able to run in that area so much.
And I know you're a guy that's always wanted to run with the Outlaws and was in PA by circumstance, sort of basically. But are you going to miss being in PA? Are you going to miss racing against the guys like Lance and Greg and Fred Raymer?
Well, we kind of you become friends with you. You're going to miss the friendships of it, but at the end of the day, you still see them guys. We still race in PA, and they all come to Florida and they come to the New York races and they come to the Nationals. So you still see him quite a bit. So, there's a lot of things, you really just miss some of the friends that we've made over the years there that, you got used to seeing every week, that now you only get to see maybe 4 or 5 times a year. But, for the most part, all the people are what makes it, the toughest to make, changes like that, throughout your career. And it's just something that, you have to weigh the pros and cons, and something that, as a sprint car driver, I never hid that my goal was to get back out on the Outlaw Tour, and financially, I think that it's a better decision for me, and that's, was always our goal for our family standpoint to do so. But definitely certain aspects of about the racing, and definitely mainly just the relationship that we built with people that we won't see as much. But we'll definitely obviously stay in touch with them as much as we can, and obviously just look forward to seeing them more when we do come to town.
Now I know, the big announcement from the sanctioning bodies and the tracks there the past couple months has been the tire deal going back to Hoosiers. Are you excited about that switch, getting off the Goodyears and going back to Hoosier tires?
Oh, I'm not excited. It doesn't bother me what tire we're using. I was never a huge opponent to the Goodyear stuff, and in my opinion, each tire is going to have their pros and cons, and there definitely was maybe a few, cons to the Goodyear. Obviously, they were a little bit pricey from the owner's standpoint, and they would have some failures from time to time. But at the end of the day, Hoosiers, have had their problems in the past as far as what they can do from the racing, standpoint of it. And I do think the racing was better on the Goodyears personally. Hoosier, I think, definitely builds probably a better product. What I do really like about the going back to Hoosier is we are starting from scratch, so it's not like we're going back to a tire that we've ran before. Nobody's notes are going to work. I think anytime we can start with a clean slate with a tire that nobody really knows a lot about, it's interesting, and a time that you really want to strive to get it figured out first, and try to take advantage of that. So obviously, everybody gets better as the years goes on, and that's what you saw with the Goodyears. There was teams that dominated really early, when they changed to the Goodyears, and then everybody started to pick up on it. So I'm always up for changes. I love going to new racetracks that nobody's been to. I love when things change and level the playing field. I feel like that's a strength of ours and mine, and something we're definitely looking forward to.
Now, for 2013, to run the entire Outlaw schedule, obviously, is it going to be like before, where you're open, or are you just going to be so busy with the Outlaws that's going to be your main? That's going to be pretty much most of the racing you do.
Well, over the last couple of years that I didn't do it, the Outlaw schedule hasn't been that full. So, a lot of them guys are begging to go around under the races, but they really have came out with the best schedule that I've seen the Outlaws put together since I have been on the road with them. So right now, they're right at 90 days. So there's probably not going to be a lot of races that we'll be able to go do other than the Outlaw schedule. And as long as that holds true, that they keep that many on the schedule and we don't rain out 20 of them, I'd say a majority of our races will all be just the Outlaw shows. We'll definitely plan on starting the year with the All-Stars. Before the season starts, we'll probably do Georgia and Ocala and possibly the Front Row Challenge at Knoxville time. But other than that, our main focus will be the Outlaw deal. And if there's other races that make sense on and off weekend, if there is one, we'll look into it. But they've got the rules pretty tight on some of that stuff. And you don't mind the rules being tight on that amount of stuff if they're providing a complete schedule, which is what they've done so far.
Now, you mentioned Oski and the Front Row Challenge. You won the Front Row Challenge this past year. You've been in the mix at the Knoxville Nationals. What would it mean to you to pull that off and win at Knoxville?
It'd be huge. It's just obviously it's every sprint car driver's ultimate goal for sure is to win that race, and it's just starts from the ground up with a whole team effort, and you got to have a perfect week, and that's what's so hard about Knoxville is it's kind of like winning a mini championship. You just don't get it right for the 30 laps or the 50 laps and win the Nationals. You've got to be good from the time you unload, qualify well, get out of your heat. It's just there's so many steps to putting yourself in position to winning the Nationals that you don't luck into it. Nobody lucks into winning the Nationals like you can luck into winning any other race throughout the course of the year. It's the best car always wins that race, and the best car is always the one that's left, and that's and they earn it. So that's the neat part about the Nationals that I think sets it apart from the rest of the races for sure.
I was wondering if we got some questions coming in off the live chat. I was wondering, somebody's asking, I'm almost afraid to ask this, would it be bigger to win the flag football game compared to the Knoxville Nationals?
Oh, jeez. That was a tweet.
Yeah.
Kasey tweeted a picture of a flag football game. If you follow Kasey on Twitter.
Oh.
We got somebody on the line.
That must be what
You're
they're...
there. I'm losing you. I'm not sure if you're still there or not.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear us?
We still got you, Daryn. We got you. Daryn, one more question for you here before we'll let you get going. But we want to ask, Daryn, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Are you still there? Do we have you, Daryn, or did we lose you?
I'm still here.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we got you.
We got
okay.
you.
Sorry, technical difficulties there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. We did want to ask you about the Chili Bowl. You know that the Chili Bowl is coming up, and you've raced it in the past. You're entered. You excited about that? Ready to get back behind the wheel of the midget?
Always. That's honestly for a race that doesn't pay the bills. It's a race that honestly I look forward to more than any other race throughout the year. It's I went away from it for probably 6 or 7 years when I went to Australia, and ever since I came back, it's just what I look forward to. And now I've got my own car, and Bob Hurley Ford puts out a great effort into it with us, and always enjoy going home and racing in front of it. It's a hometown race for me, hometown fans and all my family, and it's just a really special event to go and watch and be part of, and I enjoy my off nights watching as much as I do the nights that we race, and really midgets are a lot of fun to drive. So we've actually had a really good car the last couple of years and been really solid, and that always makes you have a little more confidence when you're going to it, and knowing that you got a real good shot to make the show, and every year that we've got in the show, we've had a legit shot to run top 5, if not run better, and we've had to start pretty deep. So just can't wait. We've been working on it the last couple weeks and trying to get ready and be as ready as we can, but really looking forward to that. Then I head out to Australia right after that to run for a couple weeks, and then when I get back, I think it's 7 days before Georgia starts up. So really only got about a week here. We're not racing, and after that, we're getting ready to get real busy.
I got a question for you, Daryn, regarding the new ride with Kasey Kahne. Their program, as far as sponsors and things, is everything still status quo that was in place this year for 2012? Is all the sponsors in place for next year going to be the same and all that, or has anything changed?
Yeah, no, definitely will be the Great Clips number 9 next year. So with us, I'm pretty sure the sponsors on the other cars are staying the same also, but obviously the 9 cars staying the same with Great Clips definitely for next year. And just glad to be part of it and be involved with obviously such a first-class organization.
Now, one last question I have. Mike is our resident winged sprint car man. I am the wingless guy. I have been fortunate enough to be at the Chili Bowl from 2004 through 2011, so I know what kind of an event that is. I've had the luxury of going to the Knoxville Nationals once. Mike goes to that every year. Money aside, which one would you rather win? Because you know, obviously, in the 26-year history of the Chili Bowl, only one Oklahoma guy has won that race, and that's Andy Hillenberg. Which one would you pick first, the Knoxville Nationals or the Chili Bowl?
Money aside, absolutely, no questions asked, Chili Bowl.
Thank you.
Ah, man.
Thank you.
Now I got to hear that all night. But no, that's...
It's, that's no... I'm from around there, and so when you grow up going and watching every one of them and being a fan, watching Hillenberg win that one that year when Page and PJ crashed, and
yep.
I was a fan of it first, then was able to get involved with it, and then compete and make the show. It's just makes it that much more special. So obviously the Nationals is what we make our living doing, so that
yep.
would be up there. But money aside, no questions asked, Chili Bowl would definitely be bigger.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
I tell him all the time he has to go to see it once
right.
to be able to experience what we're talking about.
I'll have to get out there. I'll have to try it. Well, Daryn, again, we thank you for coming on. We want to give you a chance if you got a website, Facebook fan page, Twitter, any other sponsors, anybody you want to thank. We always try to give all of our guests that opportunity before we let them go.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. We're still under construction on launching our new DarynPittman.com site with all the new Kasey Kahne stuff. So definitely go check it out. But it should be up and going hopefully over the next couple weeks as far as getting revamped. And yeah, they can follow me, Daryn Pittman. Twitter. It's obviously something new. So we've definitely trying to get more involved in some of that stuff for the fans' standpoint and trying to get them more access and more information. So definitely cool. Check it out.
Well, Daryn, we wish you the best in your new deal for 2013. Also, good luck at the Chili Bowl.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Have a happy holidays and a great new year.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
man. Sucker.
Man, that sucks.
That stings, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Not really. I mean, Kyle Larson said he'd rather run a ring car, so I'm still okay. We're about even now, I think. So, but you know what? It was cool though that he said that because of his connection.
Well, he's
to it.
one of the few that has experienced
both. Yeah, there's
and hasn't won either one.
Right, and as an Oklahoma guy, and that was cool that he grew up going. I mean, hey, I understand that. I can't fault him on that.
To be honest with you, I was afraid to ask that question because I really thought he was going to say Knoxville. Being a wing sprint car guy, I know how much Knoxville means to those guys. So he actually surprised me with that answer.
You know, I thought he was going to go that way, honestly. Because as soon as he said money aside, I'm like, yep. Yeah. I know exactly where he's going.
That's why I said money aside, because that was my only shot.
That was your only shot to hear him say that he liked racing a midget more than he liked the wing race. But hey, that's awesome, though. But again, it's kind of like one guy from Oklahoma has won. It's kind of like the Knoxville Nationals. No driver from Iowa has ever won it. So the first guy from Iowa to win that race, is going to be huge.
And that
huge.
race that Andy Hillenberg won at Chili Bowl.
Was that like one of the...
That was... A lot of people tab your buddy that we talked to at Baltimore.
Was it Neil?
Said he was at that race. You never introduced him to me, but I know he said that day that he was at that race. And that arguably
Dave. I think it was Dave. Was it Dave or Neil? For
the people that have gone to that race for many, many years, or at least followed it, that has been arguably the best Chili Bowl ever. Was that race because Paige and PJ Jones were just swapping sliders back and forth, and they ended up crashing. They ran into a lap car and took each other out and left Andy Hillenberg with the win.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's neat. Hey.
So that's cool that he was actually at that race watching back then.
Yep. And I'm gonna miss. It stinks that we're gonna miss him in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Not that the car is not going to be at the track, because if you saw the news basically yesterday and the day before that's come out, Lance DeWeese's team, the Owens 30C, folded up.
Him now.
And now that team's done, from my understanding. Right. And now Lance DeWeese is moving over to the 27. So it's not, you're still got a top-notch driver in that car, but it's sad to see
it's one less
team now. Yeah, one less team now. And I saw Gerard McIntyre picked up the ride in the 14. The question is, while we're talking sprint car racing here, where's Brian Leffel going to end up? Because that was the name that everyone had been assuming would be in the 27 car. Because he was, one of the better free agent drivers, so to speak, if there is such a thing. But, he was one of the better ones. So where does he end up now? Because he obviously lost his ride this past year when the senior Keene passed away, and they got out of racing. So
so that's two teams that are down.
Yeah, you lost the Keene ride, when Jesse Keene passed away. Right. It was midsummer. That was done. And then, now the Owens team's folding up.
Right.
And you're not going to have the 51 there as much because McMahon is going to be on the road with the All-Stars, et cetera. So, they'll be in PA, but not nearly as much as, obviously, as Fred was. So, then you have Fred in the 20S, the Derek Sell family-owned car. So, but again, at least Lance got a ride. I text my mom.
Yeah.
My mom and dad. My mom's a huge Lance DeWeese fan, so I text her. I'm like, Lance doesn't have a ride. She's like, what?
Well, not only
that was a big shock. That was a big shock when that.
It's kind of a last minute, and it puts him in a really bad place.
Yep.
And he got lucky here, but the real lucky part, not only that he just got a ride that quickly, but the fact that there was an open seat and a good quality winning ride. That's the part that.
Yeah, that's a good team. Daryn Pittman proved that. He had 7 wins this year. He won 6 4-10 shows. He won at Mercer, Selinsgrove, Williams Grove.
He had some good success in a couple years ago.
And again, he had the East Region Championship with the All-Stars, and then he also had a 360 win at Lincoln. So he had his pair. He had some victories. In that car.
He had some success in that car. What, 2 years ago, right?
What was it? 2 years? Yeah,
2
and
years,
he was in the mix for the Knoxville Nationals 2 years ago. And he was there, and he came off at turn 2, and the car washed out on him, and he clipped the wall.
Yeah.
and he kept going, but it did something to the car and it messed it up. But
I do remember that.
He was
Yes.
he was coming. He was on the move. He would have been there near the end, made it interesting because he battled for the lead with Donnie Schatz for a little bit in that race.
You know that team just bought a midget about 2-3 months ago.
The
too.
Hefner, right? Yeah, because
The
Ryan
Hefner
Smith,
Racing team.
will be driving it.
Because they had Ryan Smith debut their brand new midget. As far as I know, they've never owned a midget before.
Yeah, I don't know.
in their racing program. And they bought a midget and had Ryan Smith debut it at the Candy Bowl at Susquehanna.
Right? Yeah.
Well, early November or whenever it was, late
yeah.
October. And that's the car that Ryan Smith will be running at the Chili Bowl. So that team will be making their first trek to Tulsa to experience the Chili Bowl, which would be, I'm sure, a neat experience. And I'm glad to see them branch out and have a midget as part of their racing team because I'm sure you'll probably see them run a little more with ARDC and stuff.
It's possible.
And who knows? I mean, with the addition of having Lance there, maybe you'll see him in a midget.
I don't know about that one. That would be interesting.
It would be.
I don't know if he would do it, but it would be interesting.
I mean, a lot of those guys do double duty, so it'd be cool to see.
All right, before we get Brady here, we got about 8 minutes, 7-8 minutes. Before,
Yeah, I told him 8 o'clock. So
okay,
we got a few minutes.
All right, here is. I'm going to do the trivia question here.
How are we determining the winner? Live chat answer or what?
We'll go live chat answer.
There's about 50 people in there now.
Okay, so live chat answer. Here's what you got to do. Okay. It's going to be the first person that can name me 3 drivers that appeared in an ad. Okay, it's the Fathead team of drivers. Okay, there's 10 drivers in this photo
Fathead's Eyewear.
Yeah, Fathead's Eyewear. Okay, there's 10 people in the photo. They do a lot of open wheel wingless. Is basically what their primary sponsorship is. And I'm wearing my Fatheads right now. If you can name me 3 drivers that are in their stable
of the 10. That are
in the poster
prominently displayed.
Yep. Okay. So you need to name me 3 drivers. And Chris, I got the list here, so I'll let you have it. So you can here. I'll have him pass it over to you. This way you can be the official. Hopefully you can read my handwriting there.
Well, I'm going to the live chat right now to win some glasses. I got a whole list of names.
So, again, it's a T-shirt and glasses. And, again, I got to thank my buddy Anthony from Fatheads Eyewear for hooking us up with that.
Yeah, and whoever does end up winning this, be sure you give Chris through the chat all your information.
So we
can pass it along.
You don't put your public information in the live
chat.
Or,
somehow get it to you on a personal side.
Yeah, because I have to
get in touch with him, right.
I have to email it off to Anthony, and he'll take care of it. He's sitting in an airport in Chicago right now. So...
we just want to make sure we get your info.
Right. We want to make sure we
want to make sure the people that are owed stuff get their stuff,
yes.
but we don't want to put their their security at risk either.
Dude, it's race fans.
Yeah.
Well, then again,
it's the internet.
Yeah, it's the internet.
I mean, who knows?
It's the internet. Everything's true on the internet. Have you seen the commercial?
That's right.
French model.
Bonjour.
I love that commercial.
I do too. Bonjour.
So we got one right there. We got one.
What do we got? We got all 3? We got.
Yeah.
Who would they name?
They named Dave Darland.
Yep.
John Stanborough.
Yep.
And Tracy Hines.
That's correct.
That's Gurn.
That would be correct.
That's one of the Guerreri boys.
Cool. Congratulations. Of course, you can log on fatheads.com, and that's heads with a Z.
That didn't take long.
No. Well, that's where I found the information, so I'm assuming that's what they did. They searched for it. But again, you're going to get this pair of sunglasses that I'm wearing. I believe that's what Anthony let me know that he's going to send.
There's some argument in live chat whether it's the actual glasses that are on your face right now
it is
or if
not,
it's similar. I thought those were yours.
These are mine.
Yeah, those are his.
These are mine, Fatheads.
Courtesy of
Anthony. Yep. Yeah, so you'll be getting a pair similar to these right here, okay? And in a T-shirt. He said he's going to hook me up. So got to thank Fatheads for that. Again, fatheads.com.
Yes.
And as always, as I always say, be sure to support those who support racing because, I mean, this is a company that supports tons of race car drivers and things like that. And if you got a chance to help them out, you need a new pair of sunglasses. They got everything from, $40 pairs to $200 pairs.
They even have eyeglasses.
Yeah, I
mean, they don't even have to technically have sunglasses.
Right, they do a lot of different stuff. So check it out. Again, we like to support those sport racing. And
was it Rick Eckert? Rick Eckert's in that group, wasn't he?
No.
Oh, he's not.
No, they do. Again, they're more of the wingless deal. That's. I mean, the first time I saw Fatheads was actually on Daryn Clayton's car when Anthony worked as Daryn Clayton's crew chief.
Yep.
And that was the year I sponsored a car at Knoxville. Well, I didn't pay for the whole thing, obviously. I just got my name on the wing, which was kind of cool. But,
look at you.
Yeah, first time, last time.
Yeah, and the list of the 10 drivers that they do support.
Oh, you want me to read the list?
Are on that website too. They can go to the website to see them.
I'll read the whole list here. Jacob Wheeler, Brady Bacon. That's how we got the Fatheads deal worked out. Hunter Schoenberg, John Stanbro, Dave Darlin, Taylor Ferns, Darren Hagen, Tracy Hines, Wes McIntyre, and Thomas Meserol. I do love USAC names like Thomas Meserol. That's just a cool name.
All those people will be racing at the Chili Bowl, with the exception of Jacob Wheeler, I think.
Okay.
I think
right.
Just about every one of them.
Yeah, that's neat. That's neat. So, again, you could also, I think that ad was also in Sprint Car Midget Magazine. If you got that, you could have looked it up. So, neat deal. Again, thanks to Fatheads.
Yes.
And Fatheads Eyewear and my buddy Anthony. We really appreciate him stepping up, helping us out. And, again, it just was a perfect segue. Bombas bugged me all last week to call him because we had Brady Bacon on, and obviously Bacon is...
Well, I thought now that we...
And we know him.
Now that I knew you were buddies with a Fatheads representative...
Yeah.
And then I knew I was going to try to get Brady on the show this week. I thought, geez, why can't we come up with something?
Like a contest, and there we go. So it's cool. Everybody went to the Fathead site, checked it out, and it's cool. And hopefully you enjoy your sunglasses. I know I like these. They're comfortable. They're very comfortable.
Nice.
You know, I feel like a NASCAR driver right now doing an interview with my sunglasses on.
You look like Todd Bodine, if that's any consolation.
I bet it's not.
Todd Bodine? He wasn't, no. He won modified races, right?
Todd Bodine?
Todd? No, which one am I thinking Jeff?
You're thinking of Jeff Bodine.
Okay, listen, I was in the right
Todd
family.
is a former truck champ.
Ah, okay, so
Twice.
I've done something. All right, sweet. So I did something. Is that the Craftsman Truck Series?
Well, it used to be.
Yeah, I know. That's. I think that was the first show I said that. Way back in the day. But, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good tonight. We're flowing, feeling the flow. Doing the pole dance,
there's
working it.
There's no
rush.
tight
we don't have 15.
You got to jump from one to another within like 5 seconds.
Right.
Got a little break.
That's why we wanted to schedule 2 per show straight through until the beginning of the new racing season, which we've pretty much accomplished so far.
Yeah. When we're still working on more people, we're doing. You know what I would like people to do is either tweet us or put on Facebook. You know, guys.
Stock car Mike.
Yeah, guys that you want to like, drivers that we could get on the show. You know, and not necessarily local guys because we try to do the local stuff all year. Like this is when we try to get. I think personally in the winter times when we try to get more of a national or a broad northeastern presence, if that makes sense. So, you know, that's why we've had Hodnett in Pittman. We had Mike Lichty. You know, we're going to try to keep doing that here with some different people. But, again, if there's somebody that you would like us to try to get a hold of, you know, we'll do our best, you know, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, to get a hold of somebody and try to get them on. So let us know. I mean, who do you want to hear from? You know, again, we're trying to do the national, region, you know, more regional right now just because, again, it's wintertime. You know, we'd like to get somebody from the Chili Bowl. Maybe, hopefully, we get the Chili Bowl winner. I don't know if we got the poll to do that.
After the race is over, we'll find out who wins it,
and then we'll hammer them on Facebook.
Maybe we can try to get a hold of the winner. That would be very nice if we.
So, who's got Kevin Swedell's phone number? Anybody?
I know, right?
You know, he's been the dude in that race. But
we just had somebody post who they wanted us to interview. We got to get them on for the next show.
Who's that?
The suggestion was from Ken.
Ken,
we all remember Ken.
Okay.
Who complimented John's questions earlier about sponsorship, was very complimentary. He was serious about it.
Cool.
Says that there's a media representative that we should get on the show.
Who's that?
Doug Elkins.
I said regional.
Wow. Silence.
Wah, wah, wah.
No, I mean, again, I'd like to get
good Lord,
regional. Doug's local, I think, but I don't have any problems with Doug. I didn't say that. I'm just saying I want regional, like somebody, I don't know. Tim Schaefer would be good, and that's why I would like to get. But we know how it worked out the last time.
Yeah, he already.
Yeah, he forgot.
Bailed on us.
He forgot.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
He saw that number come up and said, "Hell, with these clowns."
Yeah, screw these idiots. I'm gonna deal with these guys at the racetrack. That's enough. What do you think about that time?
Yeah, I'll call him now.
Give him a call. And you are wearing your Brady Bacon sweatshirt. Isn't that cute?
Absolutely.
I knew you would.
I got a T-shirt underneath.
I figured as much.
My Brady Bacon old school Kasey Kahne when he drove for them.
That's old school? That's a Kasey Kahne one?
No, my shirt is
okay.
Brady Bacon when he drove for Kasey Kahne.
So that shirt's older than
That's
I am
old
then.
school. The hoodie's a couple years old.
Yeah, I figured as much. Chris, how's the live chat going over there?
It's a little quiet. There's actually it got a little somber. Eldon Jensen passed away.
Yes, I
driver
saw
of the
that
81J.
today.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away, and everybody was talking a little bit about him. And we also were learning a little bit about Frank Greary Sr., race director and father of Frankie Greary, who we've had on the show on that Greary special that we had a while back. he was in the hospital for a period with pancreatitis, and he was just discharged yesterday. He's back home and he's doing well. So we wish the best to him, and I'm sure everybody, nobody's talked about it, but everybody's kind of got in the back of their mind what's going on out there in Connecticut and Sandy Hook. Big racing community out there, so we certainly wish them the best. It's a terrible thing that happened, and we can only keep in our thoughts and prayers and hope they can find some sort of closure to what went on. And yeah, got a little quiet there for a few minutes. It was. We hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, it's not a fun conversation. Those conversations are never fun. And
I don't cruise the message boards nearly as much as I probably should, or not nearly as much as I used to. And I didn't realize that about Eldon Jensen. And they brought up Frank Guerreri Sr. And that was my first concern when they brought him up, because I heard a while ago he was having some problems, but then I hadn't really heard anything else of it. And well, Frankie was on the show,
right?
And we talked a little bit about how his dad and how the family and everybody was doing, and everything seemed like everything was. No news is good news. You know what I mean?
Right. Is Eldon a guy you watched race as a kid?
Yeah, I remember the 81J certainly sticks in my head. I remember the name for sure. I can't
it's tough.
place him,
Yeah, I mean,
but I remember.
We all remember going. Like, I remember seeing Dave Lape's car when I was a kid, but I couldn't tell you what race he won or what race I was at that he won or anything like that. You're young. You don't. Now you put far more stock into what you see, and
we put more stock in it because we have to. It's not.
Well, yeah. Well, you're working. That helps. You're writing about it or whatever. But I'm saying, like, you actually understand what you're seeing and appreciate it far more than you do when you're a little kid. You love it when you're a little kid, but you don't appreciate it like you do now in the history of it and what you're actually witnessing. Looking back, I mean, I wish I could remember some of those races between Dave Lape and Jack Johnson and C.D. Colville. I remember watching the cars roll in on that, but I don't remember much of the actual racing at the racetrack. I remember bits and pieces of being in the stands and all that stuff, but nothing. Unfortunately, nothing. None of the racing. That's the sad part, but. All right, so we got guest number 2. It's a good night when both guests are available. We're ready to go, so we'll let Chris get that set up. And John, I'll let you have this one. This is, I know you're ready to go. So, well, race fans, we'd like to welcome to the show Brady Bacon, a wingless sprint, wing sprint driver, pretty much a master of all trades. Brady, thanks for coming on the 31st lap.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Brady. How are you, man?
Good.
Thanks for coming on. First, we'll start off. We'll talk about your season in the Fatheads. I wear number 99. You followed the ASCS National Tour this season. You had a handful of wins. Finished third in the points. I know, obviously, you're always out trying to win a championship, but all in all, it had to be a successful season for you.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, our goal was to win the championship, but just a few things throughout the year just didn't play out like we needed them to. We had some bad luck. Had a few races we didn't run as good as we should have, and just got a little bit behind the 8 ball. We were always a threat to win every night. That's all you can ask for. And Jason and Wayne, they had their stuff together too, and it just didn't work out for us. But we got a lot of wins in a lot of different places, and we were fortunate enough to win in a lot of different cars on top of the 360 wing cars.
Yeah, you mentioned Jason and Wayne, Jason Johnson and Wayne Johnson. They're pretty tough to beat on that tour, especially Jason Johnson. He's kind of got that series figured out, especially teaming up with Ricky Stenhouse. He's got some great resources there, so it'd be tough to beat them anywhere you go. They're one of the top 360 drivers in the country, but you've put your name right in the books with them. The last couple of years, you've done very well.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. Jason's got his program pretty fine-tuned. He had his Philip was back with him this year, which I think boosts his confidence a lot. And with the support of Ricky Stenhouse and Roush and everybody, they just had a really good year. They had a few problems at the beginning of the year, but they pushed through them, and at the end of the year, they really got everything rolling good.
Now, I noticed, this year, well, actually the last couple of years, you've run a handful of races for the Hoffman brothers, probably the most famous USAC sprint car team there is in USAC. You've run the last couple of years a handful of races on off weekends. Now, you're scheduled to go back full-time in USAC, excuse me, running for them in 2013. Is that correct?
Yes, we're going to run the full USAC National Sprint Car Series for Hoffman in the 69, which is 40 races, I believe. And then I'll still have my 99, and I'll run that in select winged, mostly 410 races in Indiana and Ohio and stuff like that.
Yep. So no more ASCS National Tour schedule then?
Not the full tour. We'll still run a handful of races here and there with the 360, but not the full tour like we have done the past 3 years.
Yep. What about Wing 410 shows? I know you did a handful this year. You ran with the Outlaws a couple times. Of course, the last 2 years you've run the Knoxville Nationals with the 410, getting the Rookie of the Year at Knoxville in 2011. What do you have any plans of running a 410 wing car at all in 2013?
Yeah, that's going to be the majority of the schedule for my own car, the 99 car. Fatheads is back on with us again, and trying to put some other deals together so we can have a really strong 410 program that has a lot to do with our move back to the Midwest to Indiana. My fiance, Cecilia, is originally from Indiana, so we're going to look closer to her family, and then also just closer to the 410 racing, because Oklahoma was a great place, great location for 360s, but 410 racing was hard to find around there. So going to try to shift our focus a little bit towards the 410 stuff and see how that works.
Are you excited to be back on the USAC tour rather than running the wing stuff? Is that something you're really, really looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really like both forms of racing, non-wing and wings. I do more wing racing now, so I really look forward to the non-wing stuff. And next year I'll probably be turned around. I'll do a lot of non-wing stuff, and I'll be looking forward to when I get to run the wing car. So there's definitely things about each one that I like better. I think I feel like I have a better chance in a non-wing car just because the driver has a lot more to do with it. You can take a car that's maybe not necessarily capable of winning and still be able to win with it if you make the right moves and find the right spot on the racetrack. Where as a wing car, the cars are so close and the drivers are so good that it's hard to really make up for a bad race car.
How difficult is it to go back and forth? I mean, we don't see a lot of guys do what you do with the wing and the non-wing. Normally, guys stick to one or the other. Either they really like the wing and they run that, or they really like USAC and the non-wing deal and they stay there. How tough is that for you to make those adjustments going back and forth?
It's actually not that hard. It's probably harder to go from a 360 wing sprint car to a 410 wing sprint car because they're closer. So the little differences you have to watch for. But non-wing and wing is so much different in driving style that after about a lap and high laps, I got myself adjusted back to what I need to be doing. So obviously it helps me in each of the other. I think racing non-wing helps me in the wing, and then racing the wing helps me in the non-wing. Just being comfortable with different things. So I think it's benefited me in my career and helped me be more versatile. The USAC deal, running that when I was young, running midgets and sprint cars, pavement and dirt, and always switching things up and always having to adapt quickly has really helped me, especially, when I get in a 410 car, get in a 360 car. I feel like I'm able to adapt quicker than a lot of people are.
Going back to non-wing racing, there's a few big races in the non-wing racing world. Is there one out there that you haven't won yet that you just look forward to? You got it on the schedule, and that's that one race you just can't wait to get to?
I feel like I've been close to winning Oskaloosa. I had a car good enough to win there the past few years. So looking forward to going back there. Basically, any big track, I feel like I have an advantage after running the wing cars on the big tracks. It's really helped me a lot. But Oval Nationals is obviously a big race. I'd like to win that. But actually, the midget races usually hold a little more prestige for some reason. They've been around a little longer. I won the 100 last year, and that's probably the biggest one of my career. And I'd like to maybe win that Turkey Night or something like that as well.
What about, I think the biggest midget race is coming up here in a couple weeks. What about that one? We just had on the phone Daryn Pittman, so it's an all Oklahoma night. I asked him the same thing. What about being only the second driver in the history of the Chili Bowl to win that deal from Oklahoma? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that's definitely, I've been going there since I was a little kid watching. I'd get, my dad would get me from school. We'd head right over there, and he'd let me watch all the races. I'd go home, get home late, and have to get up, go to school the next morning. But really look forward to that part every year. I've been doing it for a long time. I raced the shootout.
Yep.
I've won a couple of those. So definitely a special place for me being from Tulsa. And, yeah, that's definitely on the very, very top of my list.
Yeah. That's kind of what Daryn said, too, being a home state guy. I asked Daryn, what would it mean, money aside, because he's a wing sprint car guy, winning the Knoxville Nationals or winning the Chili Bowl? And he surprised me and said the Chili Bowl would mean more being from Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, the money aside has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's why I threw that in there.
Yeah. 150 grand changes your mind real quick, doesn't
compared
it? Yeah.
Compared to 10 grand.
Money wasn't aside, you definitely pick Knoxville.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
How much do you like, running at Knoxville and getting a chance to go out there and run the Knoxville Nationals and things like that? Do you enjoy, that event and all that goes along with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's, it's the biggest sprint car race event of the year in the world. So it's definitely something you definitely look forward to. There's a lot of money up for grabs there. Even if you do mediocre, you're still going to come out of there with a lot of money.
Yeah.
More money than you would, race in a month, anywhere else. So
right.
It's definitely on top of everyone's list. And, you can come out there and just make the feature and come out with a feeling of success. So there's not many races like that. So it's definitely a big deal. I was always a non-wing guy, and when I raced for Kasey Kahne, we'd always argue back and forth. I'd say the Chili Bowl's better. They'd say Knoxville's better. But now that I've been to Knoxville, it's definitely a unique atmosphere. There's people from all over the world that come,
yep.
Tons of people. Obviously, the Chili Bowl still holds a special place for me because me being from Tulsa. But the Knoxville Nationals is definitely a huge event and very important to the sport.
Well, Brady, we had a question come in on. We have a live chat that we run here with the show. And you've kind of hinted at it, touched on it, but they want an official choice. Do you prefer winged or non-winged racing? They want to hear it officially.
Well, is this a money aside question or?
Yeah, sure. You know what? I'll even let you have the money aside question because I know what the answer will be now.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most?
Yeah, money aside, non-wing for sure. But unfortunately, the money's not on the side. So, the wing deal is definitely a better place to make a living, and the pinnacle of sprint car racing as well. The World of Outlaws is the top.
Yep.
Of sprint car racing. So, in my opinion, and to me, they're really close. Each of their own things that are special to me and that I like a lot. I also work on all my cars, and I think that's more of a challenge in that aspect. You get more gratification out of having a really good car because it's harder to have a car that's better than everybody else's. So, and the non-wing, it's a lot more fun to drive. The racing's a lot closer, and it's definitely a lot more fun to watch.
Yeah, I knew that was the way that was going to go, but hey, that's okay.
To follow up on that, then, which do you prefer, the midget or the sprint?
Actually, probably the most fun car to drive is a midget.
Yeah.
Dirt midget. Unfortunately, they are not fun to work on. You have to do that part too. So,
yeah.
Sprint cars will definitely spoil you. Everything is easy, simple. And the midget's not so much. You're packing a lot of stuff and it's there.
Yep.
Now you mentioned the difference in payouts between wing racing and non-wing racing. Why do you think that is? Why is there not the big money shows per se in the non-wing? I know. I mean, the Ultimate Challenge, I believe, is one of the highest paying shows, and that only
there's a couple shows. You got the Ultimate Challenge this year. They had that race at Kokomo, and of course, you got the Oval Nationals, which you touched on. But there aren't many. They're far and few between.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. I really don't know. I think it probably just started when the World of Outlaws got to the top. They paid the best, and the best drivers did that. If USAC paid the best, then Steve Kinzer and Sammy Swindell and Donnie Schatz, they would probably be racing USAC.
Right.
So it just it happened a long time ago. I think USAC had a lot of prestige, especially when it was connected directly with Indianapolis 500 and Indy cars and stuff. But I don't know. I think the local Indiana scene, they get guys like Dave Darlin, John Stamborough, Shane Cottle, Brian Clausen, and show up and race for $1,500 to win. So it doesn't give the promoter a lot of incentive to pay more if they're going to show up for that amount. So,
right.
It's just a battle back and forth. The promoters and the drivers, everyone's trying to make a living, so it's a tough call. But I don't know where it all started. But it's definitely the USAC gets I think $5,000 to win the 500 to start, but the problem is not the start money and the win money. It just gets a little weak right there in the middle, like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, stuff like that. Where the wing stuff is really good about supporting the guys, because there's a lot of guys making a living doing wing races, whereas the guys that own non-wing cars, they're just car owners and they're doing it because they love it. Drivers are making a living off that 40 or 50% that they're getting.
Is your ultimate goal one day? You talk about the World of Outlaws. Would you like to follow the Outlaw schedule at one point?
Yeah, I think that's probably most people's goal in wing sprint cars is to run with the Outlaws someday, and that might not be the case. It might not work for me. Brian Brown he's got a good, healthy schedule and healthy sponsors.
Yeah.
Not running a series like the Outlaws, but you just got to find what works for you and the people that are involved with the team. And I think the step we're taking this year is going to work best for everybody that's involved, and we'll just keep making steps forward and see what happens.
Now, your team was based out of your hometown of Broken Arrow originally. Have you now relocated everything to Indiana, or is it still in Broken Arrow?
The shop's actually in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, which is the shop that is owned by Mike and Megan Eubanks, which is my former owners. Right. They own Telstar Communications, and they gave me my first shot in a wing sprint car. So that's where it is now. We're gonna relocate somewhere up here in Indiana. We haven't quite got it all pinpointed exactly yet, but probably not going to be as big of a shop for a year or two right now. But fortunately, I have a nice trailer set up where I can work most out of my trailer and stuff when we go and running not my full 80 races out of my trailer and my stuff. Makes it a lot less stressful and a lot easier financially.
You got to tell our buddy Anthony from Fatheads to hook you up with a little bit more cash.
Yeah, we had our trivia question where Anthony gave us a pair of sunglasses and a T-shirt to give away to one of our listeners tonight. We did a trivia question. We did that just before we had you on the air.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Well, that's good. They have a great product. They finally made a pair that would fit me. You know, when they started, it was all fatheads for bigger size sunglasses for people that had a hard time finding glasses that would fit them. And they just came out with a couple styles that fit me, so pretty pumped about that. But, yeah, Rico's got a great business there, and they're growing leaps and bounds, and we're there to help them, get the word out about Fatheads. It's a great product, top quality, and, everyone else needs to check them out and support people that support sprint car racing.
Now, you touched on Mike and Megan Eubanks, your former car owners. You drove for them for a while, had in sprints and in midget races and things. Then you got hired by Kasey Kahne and drove for Kasey Kahne Racing for a couple of seasons. Then went back to Mike and Megan Eubanks, and then, as you stated, you bought their team out, and that's what you have now, and what you are currently running as far as your own stuff. Now, I noticed the Chili Bowl entry list. You have your midget that you are driving listed as you as the owner, so you're doing your own deal at the Chili Bowl rather than driving for the Wilkies, which you drove for last year.
Yeah, I don't actually own the car. Scott Ronk from Cocoa, Indiana, owns the car. He owns PPM Titanium Products.
Okay. Which is
one
one of your
partner
sponsors.
Deal we did together. I put it all together and ordered all the stuff, and I run it through my business, Brady Bacon Racing. So that's how that works. We just have a kind of a partnership on that. He owns everything, and I work on everything, and it works out good for both of us. And we each provide each other with stuff that we need. So that's the midget I'm driving at the Chili Bowl. It's the one I ran at Gold Crown and 4 Crown at the end of this year, and we'll probably run it a few times next year. But I've actually talked to Wilkie about running their car a few times next year as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, also, you got the Tulsa Shootout coming up. As you stated, you've won the Tulsa Shootout a couple of times. That's coming up, next weekend, I guess, New Year's weekend. Are you ready to go for that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm running a Pace chassis for a guy out of California, and they've been really fast there here lately, so we're looking forward to trying to get another Golden Driller.
Now, for those who aren't familiar with the Tulsa Shootout, The Tulsa Shootout is for winged and non-winged micro sprints. There are 8 classes. Several guys run multiple classes during the course of the weekend. I know, Brady, I saw you entered in 2 classes. Is that the only 2 classes you've run? I know in the past you've run 4 different classes. I saw you listed in 2. Are you only running 2 this time?
Yeah, we're only going to run 2 this time. We have what they call an outlaw or multi-motor. So we're just going to run the 2 outlaw classes and try to concentrate on those. The 4 classes gets a little stressful.
Yeah.
Because they pump those races out pretty quick. So just going to do the 2 classes this year and see how that works. The last time I won, I only ran 1 class. So it's a little easier to run 2 classes and be able to focus a little more on those 2.
Yeah, so you're running the winged outlaw and the non-wing outlaw, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Now, before I let you go, I want to thank you mentioned your fiance, Kasey. I want to thank her for helping me get this interview put together. I posted a couple of pictures she took over the weekend. She posted on Facebook. I posted them on my Facebook wall. I'm not sure if Chris got them up for our viewers to see, but I wanted to ask you about your sweater outfit there.
Oh yeah, we had a Christmas party at our house. We had a tacky Christmas sweater, so we got a little creative with our costumes. Everyone had a good time with that. So I think my dad won the contest, but he had just a sweater vest with no shirt underneath it for a while. So definitely won, but it was all in good fun. We all had a great time, and it was just a good holiday party.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a sweater vest with nothing underneath. That just sounds funny.
He had an ugly sweater on with some slacks. He had the sweater tucked in the slacks.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's
funny.
Awesome.
And a little Hitler mustache, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, Brady, we always want to give everybody that comes on the show, we want to give you a chance to talk about your Facebook, your Twitter, and of course, thank sponsors, car owners, anybody like that you want to thank.
Yeah, plug anybody you wanted to plug.
Yeah, our website is BradyBacon.com or BradyBaconRacing.com. Either one will take you there. We got all our merchandise from this year is on sale on there right now, and we won't be able to get to you for Christmas now, but definitely make a good gift for anybody if you got a late Christmas present or anything. We should have the Chili Bowl merchandise coming up. We'll get some shots of that on our Facebook, which is Brady Bacon Racing on Facebook, and then my Twitter is just Brady Bacon, and then Kasey, who does probably the most updates of anybody in sprint car racing. Her Twitter is Cianna, which is XIA_XIANNA. So anywhere we are, she's doing a lot of updates, and we'll keep everybody informed on how we're doing.
All right. Well, sounds good. We thank you for being on a 31st lap with us. Have a great holiday season. Have an awesome Tulsa Shootout and Chili Bowl. I'll be watching the Tulsa Shootout from my living room as I bought the pay-per-view, and I will be listening to the Chili Bowl on racingboys.com. So have a good time, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Well, you win the night. I'll give you that. We got 2 guys picking the midgets, the non-wing. Bunch of crap.
Most guys that, in my experiences of following open-wheel racing, whether it be wing, non-wing, modifieds, it seems like anybody that's ever driven a dirt midget just always glows about how much fun they are to drive. That is generally the consensus once they've driven one. So I kind of had a feeling he was
I knew you would say he's a non.
Yeah, he's a non-wing guy. That's kind of his roots with micros and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, and that's good. And it's.
Daryn surprised me. Being a wing sprint car guy.
Yeah, but again,
the only shot I had was from
the
Oklahoma
thing. Yeah. If that was a guy from Pennsylvania, he'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I would never ask Lance DeWeese.
Yeah, exactly.
Never run that race.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's
I mean, and Daryn growing up, going to it and doing all that. I mean, that's the, that's the creme de la creme, so to speak, of an Oklahoma native, basically. If you can, pull that off. So, but hey, 2 good guys tonight. I mean, he was good. Good to hear. Glad he's got a ride. And it was interesting to hear him talk about the non-wing guys, how they're all just drivers and they all have car owners, as compared, to the wing deal where there's a lot more guys that own their own equipment. I mean, I'm not saying on the World of Outlaws, but there's far more guys that own their own stuff.
Yeah, the non-wing contingent, if you follow it steadily, like I do, The non-wing contingent, you never know one day to the next who's driving what car. Like,
well, you just
could
hear him
take
talking,
Indiana.
and he's talking about the 15 different rides he's had in the
Yeah,
midgets and the.
You can talk or follow, like, say, for example, Indiana Sprint Week, and you could get a guy that's in one car at Kokomo on Sunday, but then they go to maybe Lawrenceburg on Monday, and he's in a completely different car. And the car he drove last night, somebody else is in it. You never know.
Yeah.
They bounce around.
Well, it was funny,
like crazy.
Like
There's
if you
nothing
follow,
solid.
If you follow Kyle Larson on Twitter, you always see he's in like a different guy's midget. Like every other weekend, it's like, I got to ride for this race in this guy's car, and I got to. I'm like, what is going on with that? But it's just a whole different. Yeah, it's got to be just a different.
Kyle
world.
Larson in a midget, he's driven for Keith Coons a lot the last couple of years.
Right.
That's where he's had a lot of his success in a midget, is driving for Keith Coons. And you look at Keith Coons' stable every year for the Chili Bowl, it's different.
Yeah,
every year.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll bring like 5 or 6 cars to the Chili Bowl every year, and every year it's different. It's a list of different drivers.
Yeah, I mean that's
that's just the way it is.
It's a different culture, I think. I mean,
you
look in wing racing. Like the big deal tonight was that Lance Deweese, lost his ride. The team folded up. So like, oh no, where's he going to go?
Right.
When you have a top name guy like that and say non-wing racing that loses a ride, there's like 15 car owners calling that guy trying to get him. It's kind of like what modified racing I think used to be. You used to have all these car owners, and they were fighting for guys to put in the car. Now it's
But
now
it always seems like there's nobody in a ride that's solid. Everything is like day to day. It's never
I don't get that
you're not
either.
with this guy for 3 years. Those are far and few between.
I mean, who is? I mean, I'm trying to think like the longest relationship in racing. I mean, I think how long was Coons?
Jerry Coons drove for the Hoffmans for a few years.
For a few years. You had the Tony Stewart's team there for a while.
Yeah, Tony. Really, the one solid one, if you want to pick one, would be Levi Jones.
Right? Yeah,
Levi's driven for Tony now for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Before that, he was with Scott Bennick's 2B team.
And that team, now Scott Bennick, that's a good example. I mean, that car every year at the Front Row Challenge, there's a different guy in it.
Yeah, right.
Every year there's a different guy. I mean, who was it? I think Dave Darlin's driven it.
Yeah, everybody and their brother has driven it at some point. Yeah.
Everybody's been in that
car. And that's
car.
the way it is with all those USAC.
I don't get it. I've never. That's the thing. It's funny because I go out. I see like 2 wingless races a year, but I'll go out to that show. I'm like, and I think I know who's in what car, and I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like,
yeah. And
this would look at if you were to put the 2 entry lists side to side from one year to the other. All the same guys are there. All the same guys are there, and every one of them's in a different car.
They're all mixed up with the car they drove from the year before.
Yeah, and it's like what?
And you could look at USAC Sprint's results the week before, say, the Knoxville Nationals week, when they go to Knoxville and they go to Oskaloosa, and they have all those same cars are following whatever race USAC ran the week before, and they got all these drivers. Then you go and look at, say, Oskaloosa, and the driver that drove it the week before is not in it tonight. He's in a different car, and it's all jumbled up. That's just the way it is.
It's just weird
for whatever reason.
It's just it's
like
just,
we're used to our modifieds. It's always
it's the same car.
Billy Decker's always going to be in John White's number 91.
Yeah, I mean it's just
car
yeah.
It's different.
We don't have that ride swapping. I mean, it used to be like that back in the
day,
but
it's not to the extent.
It's not nearly to the extent. I mean, it's not the race to
really,
race to race.
The one
deal.
that comes to mind in recent times in our modifieds was the thumbs. You never knew who
was
going to be in that car.
It was a 12T car, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Barron would drive it.
You never knew who was going to be in that car.
I think I saw Billy Van Pelt in that car. I mean, you never knew.
Yeah.
Did Frank Cozy drive that car? No.
He might have.
I don't even know. I mean, I know there's been so many different people through that ride.
J.J. Haley drove it at Super Dirt Week.
There you go.
There's been tons of different people who have driven that car.
Yeah, and again, it's a whole I think it's just a different culture, and that's what's it's interesting for me, but it's hard for me to follow because I don't.
It's very hard to keep up.
Right, I don't live it.
Because you think you know who's in this car tonight, and you find out it's not that person.
Right, I'm not immersed in it. I'm not. If I was living there, I'm sure it would be just like us here. You learn and figure it out how the whole thing works, but I can't follow it. I can't keep up.
Yep.
I can't do it.
It is. It's hard to keep up. Very hard.
Chris, how you doing?
Good.
Is your mic even on?
No. I had.
Hey, he's back.
I had shut it off.
Oh, okay. He's back. Welcome back, Chris.
Thanks.
How's the live chat? He's over there live chatting the whole time.
Actually, what?
He's listening to us argue while he's.
Actually, I wasn't. I completely tuned out.
Were you just live chatting it?
Yeah, I was talking with him about the race party coming up January 17th at the The Duck Club.
January
Finger Lakes Duck
27th?
Club. Yeah, January 27th. We're going on at 2. It's there's gonna be all sorts of racers and stuff there at the Finger Lakes Duck Club down in Dresden. It's south of Geneva, east of Penn Yan on Route 14.
So is that a done deal now?
That's a done deal. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Surprise!
I might be there. With the sounds of it, I might be there alone, but it's cool. He's got a Rich has a birthday party that night. He's
Of course he does.
For his
So-
18th kid, 90th kid?
January 27th. So we'll see. It'll be
All right.
cool.
January 20th. I think I'm home that weekend. I gotta check my
All
schedule.
I know is that it's the Pro Bowl.
I guess, yeah, who cares?
not
That's
the
not
Su-
even a
not the
football
Super
game.
Bowl.
That's not even a freaking football game.
Because that was when I found out about this a couple of days ago. My first question is, when's the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course.
'Cause I ain't going that
Yeah,
day.
that's why the Giants aren't going to be in it the way they're playing.
Hey,
Ah,
you never know. And even if they are, I'm still watching it. It's
If
the
we
Super Bowl.
want to avoid getting walked in on,
mm-hmm.
what do you think?
No, well, we're all right. We got a
Well,
couple
what
minutes.
what-
Yeah,
what do we got
it's
here?
only 8:30, man. We're good.
Oh
We're
my
not going to
God.
go
You
too
got
much
till
longer.
8:45 if you
Don't
had
worry,
to.
we're not going to go too much longer. We're just.
I just hate getting walked in on.
I
It
don't like
completely
getting
throws
cut
me
off though when we
There's
don't
so
really
many
wrap
ways I
things
could
up.
go with this, but I'm not going to go any of those ways. But
Yeah, we're gonna take.
We should.
I'm gonna be
road.
good. I'm gonna be good. Gonna be good.
Should
Gonna be
we-
good.
Is
Should
anybody
we-
else? I don't know.
The
Is
static
anybody
in my
else-
head is so annoying right now,
Oh.
and I don't.
That's one of the reasons why I'm ready. To
Yeah,
freaking
I don't
nail
know.
it in.
I don't
I'm
know
so
what it is.
Irritated by
The interviews
static
weren't
in it.
bad, but as
No,
soon as we start
that
talking,
was
No,
it's-
every once in a while it crackles.
crackles. Yeah, it's like there's a surge in the lines or something. You know, I don't understand what it is, but
I can't. I've done everything I can think of
Should-
with gain and adjustments on the levels and stuff, and people are saying that everything's starting to get too quiet. So as soon as I start bringing that
Then
back up, and I can't figure it out.
Should
We had everything
we,
set before.
Should we talk about the battle at the center Saturday night?
if you want to,
As long as it,
I mean, Tony Stewart
as long
won.
as it doesn't
So
take an
that's
hour.
The battle. The
there.
battle.
It is. There it is. Tony Stewart won.
The battle
Let
at the
all 40
center
laps.
at
Yeah.
the Mini Magic Mile there inside Southern Illinois Center in DeQuoin, Illinois.
You know, we got to make a
Dirt-
list of all
Dirt
these.
Power Eye National Midget Race.
We need to make a
indoors.
list of all the indoor shows that we could go to. Like I mean, you got your Atlantic City, Providence, Baltimore this past year, but I want to know where else can we go? Is there anything like?
Well,
do they
next
race
weekend-
in Pennsylvania?
Next weekend you got two choices. You got the Rumble in Fort Wayne,
right?
TQ Midget Race,
and
and then the
Providence.
Tulsa Shootout.
Well, you got Providence too next
And
weekend.
yeah,
Next
okay. There's
weekend,
three
that's the
choices.
30 well,
Providence too.
Yeah, that's the following.
New
It's
Year's
New
weekend.
Year's Day or New Year's Eve at 6:00.
So there's three choices next weekend.
Yeah.
Of indoor racing in
Tulsa
the country.
Shootout. I've followed that Tulsa Shootout, and they got some screwed up rules there. If you're leading and get taken out by a lap car, you get your spot back.
Okay.
That's stupid. It's indoor racing. You're supposed to get wrecked.
Well, you got to remember.
Well, that's
You got to
a weird
remember
take on
the
it.
indoor racing that you're used to, like when you go to Baltimore
Right.
or Providence. It's
This
not.
isn't your daddy's
not the same
indoor
thing.
racing.
It's not the
Mike.
same.
You can't compare the racetracks of the TQ midget indoor races to what you see in Tulsa. It's completely
No, I'm
different.
not. That's dirt. No, I'm not talking the
But
dirt.
it's
I'm
much more
talking to-
racy.
I'm
It's
talking,
not the same.
I'm
Is it
talking about the
small?
Rumble
Yes.
in Fort Wayne. I'm talking about. Maybe I misspoke there. The Rumble in Fort
Oh,
Wayne.
you said the Tulsa Shootout.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. No, the Rumble
Oh,
in
the
Fort
Rumble
Wayne.
in Fort Wayne
Yeah, if you get taken out there by a lap car, I
by a lap car.
yeah, I'm 99% positive. I remember reading that, going seriously,
Could
because
be.
I was looking at it and saying this would be kind of cool to go to, and I'm like, Indiana, 11 hours or so, it's gonna be a long ride, but hey, maybe I'll try it, And then I'm looking at some of the rules, I'm like, that's just dumb, But again, I know indoor racing again, it's all about beating and banging. You're supposed to wreck.
Yeah, well, those TQ indoor midget races are so much
They're a novelty.
different because
they're a novelty. It's
the
different.
track is so tiny. You literally have to dump somebody to pass them almost.
Well,
you know?
yeah, because it's very difficult to get a run on the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, Mike Lichty came from 10th and won in Baltimore, so
but with a lot of help.
you need some.
I'm not saying he didn't pass any cars, 'cause
but
you do,
you can't.
But
Restarts help when you're double file.
yes,
Yeah.
the double file restarts certainly make a big difference. But a lot of what happens in front of them. People get dumped and you sneak by, and that's why we talked about him. When we had him on the phone that night, you got to keep your nose clean.
Yeah,
Stay
it's
out
just
of
a matter
trouble.
of not getting wrecked.
Because that's all what it
I mean,
is.
obviously Tulsa on the dirt. It's
Tulsa is a much more racier racetrack.
Well, the thing is you look at we look at all these indoor races that we're talking about. They all race on concrete and it's flat. It's not meant to be. Really, it's not. None of them are meant to be a racetrack.
No.
It's just something. It's a novelty. It's fun to watch. It's cool to go to in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And it's something to do.
Whereas when you build that Tulsa Expo Raceway where this Tulsa Shootout and the Chili Bowl are held, yes, it's indoors and yes, it's small. It's a fifth of a mile, but it's a real racetrack.
Right. And
they build a real racetrack there, and it
it's
is
banked.
as racy as you could ever see racetrack.
We're losing people like crazy.
Oh, because we're talking about the Chili Bowl and
Pay no
indoor
attention.
racing. It's all right. We're almost done. I mean, hey, nobody
Tell them
listens
to
to
sit tight.
I think it's funny.
Nobody listens to the whole show. I mean, normally this is about the
Yeah,
time
I
we
mean-
go an hour and then Everybody
just
stopped.
because somebody drops off doesn't mean you just got to shut up and stop talking. I mean,
Yeah, well, obviously we'll talk all night about nothing because that's what we do. But one last thing, and we'll end up with this. Did you read anything about the new the testing that's going on now with the car of tomorrow for NASCAR or the new car?
I've
been following along.
saw some of it.
I've been following along with that. I think it's kind of interesting.
Casey's car was pretty fast in testing. I guess.
Yeah, they were faster than the as fast or faster than the old car.
Yeah,
So, see, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that the cars now look like cars. Like they look like the production model more so than what they did with the stupid wing on the back and all the other things they used to have. I like the fact that they're kind of going backwards a little bit.
I saw the look of the Miller Lite Ford Fusion, which I can't freaking stand. I saw the look of it. I got to be honest, I'm not
a fan.
I don't like the paint scheme.
Yeah.
It's okay, but I like the
Are you
blue
going
and
to
the.
complain? You win a championship.
like
Roger
the-
Penske gets it.
I like the blue and the gold better. Now it's blue and white. I don't like the
don't
white.
like
The
that.
white wheels are awful.
Oh,
It's got white wheels.
I love
It's
when they
terrible.
paint rims like that. But
Ugh. Yeah, the gold wheels look good
Right.
with the gold accent of the beer pouring
Right.
on the side of the car. Now it's white. The white wheels are awful.
yeah,
Ugh.
well,
And they won't be white very long.
No.
The way the brake dust is in those
yeah,
things.
yeah. Well, Chris, all right, we'll wrap
the
this
chrome
up
wheels,
here.
like the chrome wheels on Mike.
Daryl Walter back
Yeah,
there.
you're on.
The
You're
chrome
on.
wheels on
Chrome.
Michael Waltrip Racing.
Yeah.
Those always look sharp.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
The first painted rims that I can remember was the Kodak car.
Had yellow, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't it
had
yellow? Yeah.
wheels, yeah.
I'm sure that was before that.
Yeah,
and we-
didn't Richard Petty have blue STP painted wheels back in the 70s?
He may have.
I don't know. We weren't alive then, so we don't know.
Yeah, well,
I
white
was.
wheels. I guess that's not entirely accurate because white wheels were fairly prevalent. In the
How about
early
this?
70s,
It's what
yeah.
you remember, though. It's the first time you remember seeing it a different color other than, say, white or black or whatever it normally is. But all right, one last thing. As race fans, what is your either your New Year's resolution as a race fan or your Christmas wish for next year?
3 Ravelli tripods for Smashed Empire Films.
So that's what the wife got you for Christmas, huh?
No,
Oh,
no,
No.
that was Christmas.
oh, a new phone.
Yeah, I've had a
My
well,
wish.
well, you would have gotten something better if you hadn't gone home during Super Dirt Week. Yeah, your wish.
to get a real job and to be able to go to the freaking Chili Bowl in 2014 because I can't stand sitting home during that week.
You didn't sit home. You sat at my house. Totally different.
I sat home all week. And I was only at your house one day. There's
Yeah, that was fun.
5 days.
Yeah, okay. All right. Me?
Yeah, you might.
Yeah, I want to go to Eldora. That's my Christmas wish. Go to Eldora for a race this year. That's my,
Truck race.
yeah, I want to go to that, but I'd rather see sprint cars there, personally. But hopefully.
Well, again, wait until the
Wait
Eldora
until-
schedule comes out and see what he books
See what he
with
wants.
it. Who knows what he's
I'm
going to book with
debating,
it.
you know.
Outlaws aren't going to be there, but let's see what he books
Right,
with
I'd
it.
like to go to the Kings Royal. That's what I want to do, but we'll see. Because that's got 410s and 360s, but it's on a Saturday, and I got to get back. It's tough. It's a challenge to get home from there and to come back.
Did you say the All-Star schedule was out?
I think so. I think
We'll
it
have
is.
to look and
I,
see
I
where
thought
they
I saw
are
it on
that-
the. I thought I saw it on the website.
We'll have
but
to look and see where they are in that
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, that'd be
'Cause
good.
Who knows? I mean,
Right.
they could have an All-Star race that week at Eldora with them.
Yeah, there's our Christmas wish, and yeah. Anybody in the chat have a Christmas wish?
Nobody.
No, nobody. Everybody went to sleep.
Nobody. One guy, Ken wanted. No, it wasn't Ken. Somebody said every time I'm trying to scroll up. Every time somebody posts something.
I know. That was the one thing I noticed. I'm like, what a pain in my.
Yeah, it is.
Brett
You can't
Hearn.
keep up with it.
Yeah.
Jeff Lambert wants Brett Hearn to grow his mustache back for Christmas.
The porn stash. That's awesome. That's
Wow.
awesome. Well, what do you think?
I think that's going to do
You
it.
think we're gonna
Everybody
wrap
bear-
it up?
Yeah, everybody keep an eye out next week. We got a big show on deck. Next week we're going to have Rolf on the show.
Next week we're
Might
off
have-
there, buddy.
Or excuse me, yeah, in 2 weeks, January 3rd. Everybody have
We're
a
working
good-
on some other things
yeah,
too.
There's all
Don't
sorts
worry.
of projects going, so we'll see what happens there. And of course, don't want to forget the IMCA show coming up on the 17th and January 27th at the Finger Lakes Duck Club in Dresden. We've got the live show. All sorts of cool stuff going to be going on down there. 1 to 6, no cover, drink specials. There's Pro Bowls going to be on the big screens there.
It's not even a football
No,
game.
that's not a football game.
Hey,
It'll be on the
better
TV,
than
but-
it's better than Daytona practice.
No, I'd rather watch Daytona practice.
Yeah, I would
actually.
too.
I think that's the
I
sad
would
part.
too.
That's the sad part. I'd rather
Yeah.
watch Daytona practice. At that
Me
point,
too.
you're itching because it's been like a month and a half since you've been to the races. Like, I need to see something. I do got to send a shout out again out to my buddy Anthony.
Yes,
at
thank you.
Fatheads.
Thank you, Anthony and Fatheads.
Appreciate it, man. And
Eyewear.
everybody have a great Christmas and a very, very good Happy New Year.
Yes, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy, safe holidays.
That's going to do it for this edition of the 31st Lap. We won't see you next week. We'll get back here on January 3rd for a show that you don't want to miss. See you then.
www.fingerlakes1.com.